All right, good morning, my stamping friends. It is Tammy with Stamp and Scrap Tammy with our Wednesday weekly Facebook Live. It is Wednesday, July 7th. So I hope you all had a wonderful 4th of July. I certainly did. We actually had Christmas in July with my husband's family. So we had a wonderful time, 3 days of celebration, both 4th of July and Christmas. So if you're watching live, this is happening on July 7th, which obviously you know that. I should say if you're watching the replay, this is happening on July 7th. I'm not going to spend too much time here other than to say hello and good morning. I hope everybody is doing well. And I'm going to get to today's project. I've got a super busy day today, so I need to try to get through this relatively quickly. I have got kids at activities this week. This 2-week spell here is probably our busiest 2 weeks of the summer. So this morning I dropped one at hockey camp and then came home, got the other one, took her to dance. I'll pick her up from dance, bring her home to feed her, have a shower, and then she'll be off to driver's training. And then later on, she's got some math classes. So busy day for us. Oh, and then I suppose I should probably go pick up the other one from hockey camp. All right, I have got a beautiful project today. I totally went a little wild, so we'll see if I can do this quickly. I changed my plan about 4 times, but I really wanted to show off this designer series paper again. I've already made a few cards with that, and I will show those once again. I think I have showed them a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to use the hand pen designer series paper again. And then I took advantage last week of the free shipping special, or a week and a half ago or so. So I got some new stamp sets to play with that I was really excited to get to. And they're what I call standalone stamp sets. So they're not part of a bundle, but they're equally as beautiful as some of those that are part of bundles. So I'm using the hand pen designer series paper. This paper is on special right now. Look at what I'm using today. That's gonna be fun. Is 15% off right now. So I did want to highlight the designer series because there is a special on it right now. All right, so next up, what I'm using for stamp sets, through it together, I often talk about how I love to have a sentiment stamp sets, and this one has some beautiful ones, all kinds of, a lot of inspirational ones actually, and get well, things like that. So, and then I also am using the Wild Roses stamp set. It really matches the hand pen designer series paper quite well. And then for dies today, I really went wild layering up my die cuts here. I'll let you see the card, give you a little sneak peek there. The Tasteful Label dies and then the hand pen dies too. I'm just using this one in here to add a little bit to my card, almost using it more of as an embellishment. So let's get started here. First, I'm going to go with some Blushing Bride paper. And this one I decided to go the long way this time. And so I cut it at 4 1/4. And by 11 would be the other way there. So I didn't actually have to make that cut, but it's 4 1/2 by 11. I scored it at 5 1/2. I'm going to go ahead and fold it in towards the indent, and that will be our card base today. And then I do have a larger piece of basic white that I'm going to actually mat for my card, and then this will be my insert today. And I'm gonna put a piece of designer series on that too. I'm gonna try to not lose these pieces because there's a lot of pieces today. Maybe I'll spread them out for you to see because they're just beautiful. I did also add a little circle die. Trying to see if you can see them on screen. I see a bunch of you are saying hi. So good morning, everybody, or afternoon if you're watching this later in the day. Maybe you're watching it on YouTube. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my Stamp and Scrap page. I do share our weekly Facebook Lives on YouTube, typically every Wednesday afternoon after I get it downloaded. And so I appreciate the views there as well. Okay, you know what, before I get real started, of course I'm already started, as opposed to like fake started. But anyways, let me just share with you a couple of cards. This card I did case the layout. She had used a different designer series paper, but I love this layout, cutting out that color contour die. They're part of the contour dies bundle. Anyways, this I cased from Melanie Hawken. And so we used this last week for our basic in-studio card class. And then another beautiful one, all featuring the designer series papers. And this is basically almost the same card. Oh, maybe not really, but another one using the hand pen designer series paper. And then this one as well. This was from a couple weeks ago from a Facebook Live that we did. This week I am doing Prize Patrol. You'll get today's cards and an entire package, brand new package of basic rhinestones. I'm going to use those to finish off the card today. All right, so we need to start with doing our background. This is where I'm using the Wild Roses stamp set. I'm going to do it 2 different ways to show you that there's 2 different ways to do this. And I will need a scratch paper for one. Now there's actually 3 different ways to do this. The preferred method would possibly be to use your Stamparatus. But you know, you may not have a Stamparatus, so that's okay too. You don't have to have a Stamparatus. You don't have to have all the things right away, but eventually you might want to get one. But I'm going to use the largest clear block. It is block F to use to go with this huge background stamp. So you can really make your own designer series paper. There's really a lot of stuff that we could do with this. We're going to do the most basic one. So first what I'm going to do, when I have a large stamp like this, I do like to ink it up this way versus pushing it into the ink pad. So I like to just pat my ink on there lightly. And so the first option would be a very traditional option. You would just go ahead, stick this down, and go for it. And I'm just basically going to plop that down, and then I will just push down on it to get the ink to soak into the paper. I am using, let me see, the ink color Mint Macaron. On my sample, I actually used soft seafoam, and then I took a closer look at the coordinating papers in here. This looks great, and realized it was actually Mint Macaron and not soft seafoam. So we'll be able to kind of do a this or that at the end too, to see which color we actually liked better, because I think the soft seafoam also works. All right, so that's a little bit darker. That's quite a bit darker. So this will be fun to see how this comes together. And now the second way to do this, let's ink that up again. So you see I wasn't quite even on there. We're missing a little bit, but that's okay. So I'm gonna have 2 of these, and then I'll just pick which one I like better. All right, so this is the second way to do this. And then the third would be to put this large stamp on your Stamparatus, which is where it would be nice and easy to go back and do that one more time if you'd like. Okay, so the next option, and I'm gonna need another scratch bead. Well, no, I don't. I can just take this away. Let's go ahead and move that. Our next option is just to set your, let's go this way, because I did get a little ink on there already, but that's okay, is to set your paper right on top of your stamp. And then what you can do is just take a scratch paper and now press your hands down on there. And that's going to get, and then I'm going to just rub it along here a little bit. This is going to keep my hands pretty clean too, because I have that scratch paper on top of it to collect the remaining ink from the edges. Okay, so now I will pull this up. And let's see what we have. And then we'll pick which one I prefer. I'm not going to throw that one out. I'm going to use that one again too. So beautiful. Look at that. It's so vibrant. All right, so this one is going to look a little different than my initial sample because I'm using Mint Macaron instead of soft seafoam. I love doing this, and we'll be able to see which one we like and prefer better. All right, so next up, we are going to do, maybe I'll finish off the stamping for this, so then all we have to do is assemble. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on black, basic black. I'm going to heat emboss. I did share all of the links in the posting of the supply list. I think I missed adding the basic rhinestones after I thought about it, but I do have the embossing powders. These are the basic embossing powders. It's white, black, and clear that come in a package. So it's like a combo pack of 3. I'm going to move these out of the way because I am going to bring in my Stamp Cut emboss machine. I haven't done that in a long time. So I don't know if I have my screen set up properly for it, but we'll just wing it and see. If not, I'll just do it on the counter behind me. So what I'm going to do here to heat emboss, I'm going to gently tap my Stamp Sentiment onto my Versamark. Something I like to do when I'm heat embossing, because I like to make multiple cards, of course, is I like to make a few of them. And then this is kind of, you know, I could say it's because I like to make multiples of them, but sometimes heat embossing, it might get fluffed up a little bit, you know, or, messed up a little bit. And so you might want to redo it. But this way, I don't have to go back to getting the ink pad out again, getting the stamp back out, clearing my table. I'm just going to have a bunch of them ready right away. And there we go. So just nice straight up, straight down. And then I will pull in what I'm going to use is the white from that package of embossing powder. You'll see I just have mine in a little dish, and then I'll pop it back in there after I'm done. There's many ways to store this. I like to just keep it in the original packages. And so all I'm going to do is lightly put that on there. I will flip it around now and do the same here. So I'm going to actually have 4 sentiments ready to go, so long as none of them get messed up. But it looks like I'm going to have pretty good success here. Oh, maybe not. So see, oh, here, I can add a little more. Let's see. So see if that one didn't take, then I've got these other ones ready to go. All right, and then something else I will do when I'm heat embossing that I have handy in my little tray of tools here is some tiny little paint brushes, as you can see. This one has seen better days. And then I can just brush off the excess if I got a little wild and have somewhere I don't want it to be, which, you know, so up here, that's not gonna matter because I'm gonna cut that out. And so next we have to heat it. So that's where we get heat embossed from. And so what I need to do is bring in my heat tool. If you don't have one of these, the Stampin' Up! One is phenomenal. I absolutely love it. Let's see. And when I do this, I do like to I usually just grab my Take a Pick tool to hold it in place so I don't burn my fingers. And I'm hoping I have it plugged in. I think I got it ready. I sure do. And so then I'm just gonna go along. Also, there's always more than one way to do things. So a second way to do this, I'll do the first one just like this, or the first side maybe, and then I'll show you on the second side. And I'm not sure if you can see that coming up, but you just see it start turning a glossy white, and it's just magical. So let me show you another way. Let me show you close up. I'm gonna be careful not to burn my fingers. But it's so fun how that goes. And then another way is to go from underneath. So some people prefer that way. I've never really noticed a difference in the final outcome. Both ways work just fine. You do want to make sure not to heat it too long because it could burn the paper. You don't want to do that. Or your fingers. Got to be careful with that. All right. And so that is perfect. So I love heat embossing the white on black. It looks really quite nice. And so next what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut that out. So it was a pretty small little piece that I wanted to cut out. So it didn't really work out so well to cut it out beforehand because it was really hard to get it in there. I tried and I didn't like how it turned out. So I decided I would. Let's see, this is probably going to be a weird view for you for a second, but this is my Stamp Cut Emboss machine. This is the larger of the 2 sizes. There's also a mini that I have as well. But I will use this one today. I'm using this one today because guess what? Look at this. I got brand new plates yesterday. They're already getting all used, but I cut out a lot of stuff last night. So I'm going to go ahead and stick one of the plates. I'll stick the more flat one on the bottom. And then I will put my piece here. I'll just cut out, as long as one of them cuts out great, I'll just do one. But if I need to, I can do a second one. Now, if you have a hard time making this stay in place, you can add a little piece of washi tape if you still have some of that laying around from the trends of, a couple years ago. And so I'm just gonna lay that nice and tight on there. You see, I'm not lining up my plates are a little mismatched, and that's perfect. It helps it actually guide the plates through the machine, believe it or not. And so when I run mine through, very rarely do I actually have them like so. They're usually a little kitty-wampus, a little bit off, kind of like me some days. Just a little bit tilted, and then not tilted. You don't want to go this way. You do want them straight and even this way to go through nice. But if it's hanging off the edge a little this way or a little that way, that actually works better. All right, I'm going to move this back out of the way. I guess I should have checked that this cut out even first, but I believe it did. I'll worry about cutting out the rest later. I love that sentiment too. May your comeback be stronger than your setback. That is absolutely perfect to send to a friend that maybe needs a little words of encouragement. Okay, so now we have some assembly to do. We have got some fun stuff here going on. So let's take, let me see, I think this is my preferred one. Since this is a little bit missed up there, I mean, it looks just fine, I think, but I'm gonna be covering that little spot up. So I'll use that part for the top of my card. And so I'll use my Stampin' Seal to add here. It is very sticky, so you don't need to have a ton of it. If you just put a little on each side, you're just fine. And then let's just start layering this up. Let me pull in, if it's still handy, I'll show you all the labels. You'll be able to see all the labels that I use from here as we go. So first, I wanted to use this little, here, let me put it, I don't know if it matters which way it goes. So obviously I use this one here. So we've got this one. We have got the flag. I pulled the circle in from my circle dies. I've got this small one in mint macaroon, and then this one I use the designer series paper. So I think it's really fun to cut your designer series paper out of the labels, you know, so these aren't just necessarily for words. You can use these for little extra elements on your cards. So first I'm going to take this one that is in Blushing Bride. So here I got Blushing Bride, Blushing Bride. Beautiful, beautiful paper. I'm going to flip that over and I'm going to put it off just a little bit of the edge. And I'm going to just snip this little piece off here with my paper snips. And next what I'm going to layer on is going to be my circle. And let's just put that right in the middle, the beautiful hand pen paper. So here I use two different pieces here, or this is the same piece of paper. Oh, let me show that. See, so this is the flip side of the paper. Somebody said something last week. What was it? I can't remember what they said. Something about what they thought DSP stood for. I can't remember what they said, but it was really kind of cute and it made total sense. And okay, and then I'm going to take this little flag and I'm going to put it up on the top. Okay, and so next what we have to do is add our little die cut here. It looks like I didn't quite punch out all of those little doodads, so I will take my take a pick tool real quick here. This is just cut in basic white, and it's from the hand pen dies. And so it's just to add another little bit of, I don't want to say gaudiness, but I suppose that's probably about right. I did kind of gaudy this card up a little bit, didn't I? So I can actually get this out of the way as well, because I'm going to tie some ribbon on there, but it's going to go around the whole card. It's going to go around the inside of it. Okay, so look at how pretty that is. Look at how that's coming together, quite nice. And then next we're going to I'm using my silicone mat because I'm going to use my liquid glue. So I don't want to get my whole space here all full of glue. I should add, so I'm really stepping up with the layers today, and this isn't what I would consider necessarily simple stamping. It's definitely not difficult. It's just there's not a ton of supplies actually. Of course the dies and things like that, but you could layer up with other dies that you might have, little labels and punches and things like that to get the same concept as this. But last Friday I showed a very simple stamping card, and there was 10 of them using all of the different designer series papers. And you know what? I had one of them sitting here, but I lost them. I was looking for them the other day, but they are the free with a purchase card. So right now, when you make a purchase with me in the month of July using the host code that's posted in the comment, or not the comments, I always say the comments, but posted in the headline of this post, I will send you the setups for 10 free cards. You get a punch on your punch card, as well as a little paper perk. Okay, so next up what I'm going to do is, on my first one I popped that up, but I think today for this card I'm just going to put that right down. This is a mint macaroon. So because I used the ink there, I wanted to pull in that color one more time. I like to pull in colors at least 2 times on a card if possible. Now, not always, but you know, on a layered up card like this, I do. That's what I typically do. Again, there's always exceptions to that rule. So you see how many of these little elements I used in one card. I'm going to move that out of the way now. You get the idea. And I will put some dimensionals on this. I'm going to use some mini ones if I can find them. They are right here. And I do have the mini black ones. The sheet is cut in half. It's regular sheet is actually larger. We used these in class last week. And let's go ahead and push that there. So also up in the headline is a sign up for, it says the Stampin' Scrap VIP list. There's some exciting things that happen there. That is my email list. That is where you get a tutorial sent out every Tuesday with any information coming up. If I have any classes going on, which I do every month in July, there's a few of them yet to sign up for. And then also coming up this fall, I have got some events that are posting, some special events that are coming on up. So if you want to know about, if you want firsthand to know about when the garage sale is happening, if you're local, that is going out tomorrow morning. So the information on the garage sale is going to be posting tomorrow morning. There'll be an opportunity to sign up to consign if you would like. And then we've got our Fall Fest, our full day stamping event coming up in the fall. That's going to be emailed out very soon as well. And then I'll share with you this card next week too, either later this week or in next week's tutorial. Add this one to it with the measurements. So I've got my mesh ribbon, one of my favorites, of course. And then what I need to do is get a glue dot to put right in the center of where I am going to put my bow on this. And so I'll just put it right there in the center. I like to do that because it just makes it easier to tie a bow. There's no other good reason other than that, which that's a good enough reason for me. All right, so as you see, when I do my little turn, that's where I'm gonna push down right where the bow is gonna go. And you see, I always leave myself plenty of ribbon. Now, if you don't like to tie a bow, this actually right here, this looks good. You could just leave it like that. This ribbon is nice and fluffy. It's got some volume to it. So you could just leave it like that and snip each side off a little bit. But I'm gonna tie a bow because I like to. And you know, with all these activities, those 10 cards that I'm sending out for the free with a purchase did have a lot of bows on them. I will probably likely have those tied. I have a little container of the ribbons that are from those bows, or from, yeah, that I'm making those bows out of, that I have in my purse because this week, like I said at the beginning, I'm really busy running kids around. But if you have ever done that or have children that were in activities, are in activities, you will know this very well. This will be very familiar to you when I say this. What happens is, it's like we gotta go, 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 but then we wait. So I am just always sitting in parking lots, or yeah, pretty much parking lots. When they were younger, you know, you'd sit inside and wait for them. But now that they're older, you know, they would prefer me not to go in and wait for them because you don't do that when they're older. So I'm just sitting there waiting, and then, you know, you got to drive to get the next one, and then you got to wait where it's like not enough time to come home, not enough time to go do anything. You certainly don't need to go shopping, which I don't like to do anyways. But so yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing this week. I'm going to be tying some bows while I'm waiting for my kids everywhere. All right, what am I doing here? I'm just jabbering along as I'm just doing stuff. And where am I going with this? I added a strip of 3/4 of an inch by 5 1/4 designer series, because this is the inside. I'm going to make this inside just as pretty as the outside. Well, that might be kind of hard to beat, but I'm going to put an inside sentiment on here. This stamp set had so many. So if you haven't taken a close look at this one, I encourage you to do so. It's a really great one. Through It Together is what it's called. There are so many insides that I could have used on this one. I'm going to put Follow Your Dream on this one. And you could send this for so many different things. And you could switch up. You could put this on the outside. The script on that's really pretty. And then I'll adhere that to the inside. We'll add some Wink of Stella and some rhinestones, and then we're gonna finish it off for the day because, like I said, I gotta go pick one up from dance, get her home, get her some lunch, and then get her off to driver's training, which I can't even believe that. So think about that. Pretty soon, I'm not gonna have, well, it is gonna be a little while. She's only 14. Here in Minnesota, they can take driver's training before they turn 15, and then in February when she turns 15 she can get her permit. But so before you know it though, I'm not going to have to do so much running. I'll probably actually miss it when it's over though. I do know that that's for sure. What I will enjoy is like being able to send her to the store for a loaf of bread or gallon of milk. That'll be really nice. So I'm just adding some Wink of Stella. I'm just putting it right on the die cut, and then on, you know, it might be kind of hard to see in the video, but I'll put a little bit on these flowers too. And do make sure when you're doing your Wink of Stella, like right now, I had just kind of squeezed it a little while ago, so I still had some on the brush. But if I'm gonna squeeze it again, I like to watch it kind of come down. And then this, yeah, there we go. I saw it starting. And then just so it doesn't like plop all over your card, a good rule of thumb is to just hold it up a little bit. And then you don't have to worry about getting too much. And then once you know you don't have too much coming out of there, then you can go back down in color as normal. So that's just going to add another little bit of glitz and glamour to this kind of stepped up card, I would say. So in Stampin' Scrap Tammy terms, this is a fancy card. This is a stepped up card right here. And we will go back to, no promises, but likely we will go back to some simple stamping cards next week. As well as one of these days, I will bring you those cards I shared last Friday, the ones that are free with purchase. I'm going to share with you some other ideas of what to do with those supplies. I don't have a day yet for that yet, but I'll keep you posted. If I get time this week, I'll go for it. It's not looking like this week I'm going to have time. It's probably going to be into next week, but I'll let you know for sure when I decide to do that. So added a whole bunch of Wink of Stella to that, and let's finish it off with some basic rhinestones. So I've got a nice new package for myself. And then again, I mentioned at the beginning, but Prize Patrol for today is the basic rhinestones. I will send you today's card as well as these basic rhinestones. All right, I'm gonna just add all the different sizes here. And that is gonna finish it off. So let's pull in both cards. I would love to know which one you like better, if you like the softer one or the more bright. I don't know that I can make a decision, but I'll take a picture of both of them too to share with you in the weekly email. I'll post it over on my blog and also on my Pinterest too. So if you're on Pinterest, I'd love it if you look me up, YouTube as well. Pinterest, I'm also under Stampin' Scrap with Tammy. I share lots of ideas, not only my own, but some of my good friends and some ideas right from Stampin' Up. All right, everybody, I'm going to take a look at the comments, see if there's anything to review right away. But otherwise, I will definitely... Oh, there's my volume. I'm just trying to see your comments here. All right. And so I will go back later and see if there's anything after I get back from all the running around and reply to anything that needs to be replied to. But I certainly appreciate you all watching today, whether you're watching live, the replay on Facebook, or even on YouTube. All right, everybody. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. We will see you next week for sure. It will be Wednesday, July 14th when I see you again. All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.